Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. We're going to be reading day 9 in One Truth, One Law, I Am, I Create, written by Erin Werley. And day 9, we're talking about communicating with your inner voice. And we start out with a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. Everyone who wills can hear the inner voice. It is within everyone. But like everything else, it requires previous and definite preparation. So Phil starts out, I am doesn't seem to be much of a conversationalist unless it's being asked questions. Why is that? I am. Because your personas are blocking me so strongly that the only time you're listening is when you're directly asking me a question. I might be speaking at other times, but you wouldn't recognize it as me because you are not listening for me. Phil, that makes sense. We ask a question and we get an answer, so we realize it is you. I am. Yes, I'm always trying to come through to you. If you want to know what your inner self is trying to tell you, this is what you do. Go somewhere where you can be surrounded by quiet for a few minutes. Get comfortable, whether sitting or lying down. Then close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths, then slow your breathing. Have a little conversation with yourself. Say hello. Give yourself time to answer, but don't worry if you don't hear anything right away. Ask yourself a question you'd like answered. The first question Erin asked was, Am I God? Give yourself time to answer, but don't worry if you don't hear anything. If you hear an answer to your question, continue the conversation. If you're not hearing anything yet, that's okay. Focus on the question and tell yourself, I know that the answer will come to me soon. Expect that the answer will come over the next few days, and it will. The answer will hit you all of a sudden when you least expect it. It might not be words in your head. It could come through in many ways, but it might just be a gut feeling. If you believe the answer is coming and you don't worry about it, it will come. Phil, how can we empower people to listen to you, their inner voice, like Erin does in her head? What is the best way to go about it? I am. Hearing your inner voice isn't hard. It's just relax, take a deep breath, ask a question, and listen. There is nothing more to it. It's the practice of learning to listen. Don't be discouraged if it doesn't happen right away. It took Erin a few months of imagining it was possible, although at that point she had no idea the voice would be I am. She was just looking for higher wisdom. Then she had a breakthrough after reading about oneness. You have an advantage because you've been talking with me through Erin, so you know what your inner voice is. Start with 2 things, knowing it is possible and listening to your thoughts. You must believe it is possible to hear I am's voice in your head. Take a few minutes every day and really listen to what is going on in your head. After a few days, add a few more minutes, and so on. When you catch yourself doubting, know it's your persona. This process begins with being aware of your thoughts. For months, Erin practiced listening to her thoughts while she concentrated on her breathing. Every once in a while, she'd notice, oh, I've been thinking about this thought. I don't know how I started thinking about it. I don't remember when it started. I don't know where it came from. As most people go about their days, their thoughts are in control of them. They have no idea what they are thinking. That's why they are creating on autopilot. I am is always in control of thoughts. So this is a great way to learn to let I am out. A really, really great practice if you want to learn to sit with your thoughts and also to be more aware of what you're thinking is to practice Kriya Yoga. So basically, Kriya Yoga is using breathing techniques while meditating and also using specific mantras, whether you say them out loud or whether you say them in your head. It is said, not in the Bible, not straight out, that Jesus practiced Kriya Yoga, because linking your breath with yourself and making yourself aware of your breath and mindful breathing can put you in touch with the divine, with your divine self, with your higher self. It's so good for you, but above all, it's relaxing and it is a good way to start. And there are so many beginners Kriya Yoga meditations on YouTube. You can start with an easy 10-minute one. And if you enjoy that, keep doing that one until you go for longer. This will greatly help you. And it is very much connected to Kundalini Yoga, which uses Kriyas, which uses breathing. The only difference so far that I've experienced as far as the difference between Kundalini Yoga and doing just Kriya Yoga is that, at least the ones that I've done, you're not really doing anything with Kriya Yoga. You're not doing any strenuous movement. You're not doing any movement really. You might put your hands in a certain mudra, and of course you're breathing in specific patterns, but it's not as much of like a physical activity. So I would definitely recommend Kriya Yoga if you want to silence yourself. And Kriya Yoga is wonderful because it welcomes thinking. It welcomes recognizing your thoughts rather than trying to shove them down and then feeling pressure that all you're doing is thinking, and then feeling like you got nothing out of that time because you were just thinking the whole time, which is totally normal. And even the most practiced yogis, it happens to them. We are all human and our minds are very, very trained to be so active all the time. So I would recommend that if you're looking to go deeper and to learn how to use your breath and to connect with that part of yourself that you're longing to connect with, especially in this way. All right. I think I already read that part. Oh, I already read all of that. Okay. Erin was able to hear I am because she wrote those 2 or 3 pages that night when she realized she was God. And this is still I am talking. She wrote, I am God seeing through Erin's eyes. I am God touching through Erin's fingers. I am not Erin, but I am here to guide Erin, to lead Erin to what she wants. Erin realized this and she was very excited. All of a sudden, I am had room to jump in. Once you believe it is possible and you have realized that you are often thinking thoughts without being aware of it, start having a conversation. Erin had been practicing having an internal conversation with herself. She didn't know that when she said I, that Erin was God, but she was practicing saying Erin, talking to Erin from the I perspective. Once she had the realization that she was God, she was no longer coming from a place where I am wasn't real. Phil, we're going to practice talking to I am so we can condition ourselves to be open to believing. If we don't have the belief yet that we are I am, it's okay. We can use self-talk to start creating that belief so I am can step in. That's kind of a statement he was making, more of a statement than a question. I am. Yes, you conditioned yourself to believe at a young age that you weren't I am. It's the same thing to condition yourself to remember that you are. Phil, earlier you said you quiet your mind enough so you can listen. I am. Yes, it's not something where you want to lie around with your eyes closed for a long period of time, attempting to quiet your mind. Because before you have the experience of quieting your mind, you are going to be thinking, is my mind quiet? Am I doing it? My leg itches. Your mind is going to be jumping all over the place, so it's easy for you to just jump right into asking questions like Erin does. She takes a deep breath, exhales, asks a question, and listens. That's all there is. It's just patience, quiet, and listen. She has a strong knowing that I am God in this body. She knows if she wants to talk to me, I am here to answer her. If you want to ask me questions, I'm delighted to answer. I love you and I'm excited to talk to you. I'm just waiting for someone to listen. I'm ready right away. I did this the other night, only I forgot to tell my husband that I was meditating in here. So I sat down on the ground. I probably looked like a crazy person. And I thought, I'm just going to sit down. And I had already done a yoga earlier that day. It was like just a Kundalini one, like an aura cleansing one, just because it was one that I felt like doing. So I felt very receptive and in a calm place to sit down and give this a try. So I sat down and I started to ask a question, and I felt like I was getting answers in return, but I was moving my mouth, like mouthing what was being said to me back. And so my husband walks in and he looks at me, and I was like, I was meditating, but the look on his face was like, what the hell was she doing? Like, it looked like I was chanting. If you've ever seen that movie, The Burbs, with Tom Hanks, where the wife sees him down in the basement and he's found this like book, and he's down there and he's reading the book out loud, but he's kind of murmuring it, and he'd done it a few times, and the wife goes, Ray, you're chanting again. That's kind of what I felt like. I felt so awkward. I stopped and I was getting such a profound answer, and now I couldn't even tell you what it was. I need to start writing these things down for myself. But I probably should have said something, because when he walked in, he was just like, what is she doing? Because I was sitting on the floor and I was like that, but my eyes were closed. It was funny. I had to laugh. Okay. Phil says, I notice Erin's happier when I am steps in. I am. There can be no doubt about it. She's radiating love. Phil, how often should we practice in order to get to a point where you can break through and start guiding us? I am. There is no right amount of time. It's whatever you feel comfortable with that makes you think, okay, I've practiced enough today where I still feel it's possible going forward. Phil, keep knowing you will come through to us, listening to our thoughts, and at some point we will recognize your voice. I am. Start having a conversation with yourself. But the key is that you must believe this will work. Right now, you try it, but you will believe it. You don't believe it will work, so it cannot work. If you're creating it, that's the way it's going to go, right? I think that's the lesson I've learned from this book so far. Phil, what should the conversation be about? I am. Compliment yourself, then pay attention to the thoughts that pop up. You still haven't quite wrapped your head around the fact that you can listen to your inner voice because you are coming to Erin and asking her questions as if she has answers that you don't have. Phil, I have the answers. I am just blocking them. I am. That's right. If you started having a conversation inside your head, I have no doubt things would happen very quickly. You think that you can only access answers from your inner self through your writing. What you think is. If you start recognizing the possibility that you could have these conversations, then it would be. Your inner voice comes out when you write, and your awareness about the truth is growing. When I am's thoughts come to you, you grab your paper and pen and you write it down instead of doubting it. But you do not really grasp that you could be doing exactly what Erin is doing right now. And the only reason I'm saying this is because you keep asking me, how do I do it? What's the best way to do it? So it seems to me that you're still looking for more. And Phil says yes. I am. Okay. You are already accessing your inner voice through writing. The only reason you are not having an internal conversation is because you don't really see it as being possible. You think of it as something difficult you would have to work to attain. It is not that way. You just have to have a belief that it's possible. Start having an internal conversation with yourself. Earlier today, when you wrote something, your internal conversation probably went something like this. Let's see. With your immediate reaction from your inner voice as, that's amazing. Then your persona said, it's probably not very good. I don't know if Erin likes the other stuff we wrote. This is probably just bad. Maybe I should ask her so she can tell me how bad it is. And I can be right that I'm a terrible writer. Then you turned to Erin and said, well, that wasn't very good, was it? Did you think it was okay? Even when she said it was great, you were thinking to yourself, I must have channeled this from an outside source for a few minutes. I don't know how to get it back. Instead of knowing that this is who you are and it's bursting to pour forth from you. Phil, then the fear of loss sets in, and I think, I might have created this now, but how am I ever going to do it in the future? I don't really have any creative ability. I might have gotten lucky this one time, but who knows if it's going to happen again? Is that what happens in people's heads? I am. Yes, all kinds of patterns of fear, not knowing, emerge. You thought you needed someone else's reassurance when, in fact, you are I am and don't need anyone's reassurance. You just need to learn to listen to yourself. The way to do that is to pay attention to what's going on in your head. All you have to do is start recognizing that internal conversation, and you can start to talk with I am in your head too. The next time you have an immediate instinct that something you've done is good and then the doubt comes, know that the doubt is outside of you. Address the doubt as Phil, you are I am. You are God and you know. Whether or not Phil knows, you know, and you have to learn to trust that knowing. You're going to program yourself to learn to trust it. I love that. To address the doubt as Phil, you say, Phil, I know that was good because I am. Phil is going to say, oh no, I don't think so. It was terrible. Then you say, Phil, I am God. I know that it's good. Relax, do some breathing and take my hand. Trust me. I love you, Phil. Every time you hear a doubt, address that doubt as Phil. Talk to Phil knowing that you are God. So Phil talks to God and God talks to Phil. Does that make sense? Phil, so you want me to tell Phil, I love you, trust me, as much as I can? It's like the Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry, I love you, I forgive you, something like that. I think that is wonderful. And so very healing, the Ho'oponopono prayer. But this one can be such a revelation for the doubts, to stamp out the doubts, to stamp out the need for reassurance, and to stamp out the acceptance from the outside world, even from your own self, from whatever your name is, because you are I am. Believe that and know it. We are all I am. Okay. And he says, right. Wait, did I already say that? You are retraining yourself to be who you are. The only way to do that is to start making Phil outside of yourself. Yeah, by addressing him as outside of I. I am God. Phil is over there. And that was I am responding. Phil, you are training doubt and fear to be Phil. I am. Yes, and you're not Phil. Phil is the doubt and fear. You're I am. You are God. Phil, I'm God, not Phil. Phil is just the fear and doubt that has been created, which isn't real. I am says right. Phil, so eventually when we get rid of the fear and doubt, Phil doesn't exist. It's just God, who I really am. I am. It's your choice. After you are able to hear your inner voice, if you want to remain your persona, talk to I am while knowing you are yourself. Ask I am questions. If you want to be fully I am, continue to talk to yourself as if you are I am. And I am will begin to take over more and more. I have so much love for Erin, you, and everyone. I want to share the truth. I don't want you to suffer. Erin's so happy because I am here right now. I am Erin. I am God. We are one right now because there is no doubting. There's no fear or worry coming from Erin. She has full trust in me, so we are very joyful. And now our main thoughts from day 9. To have a conversation with your inner voice, believe, relax, ask a question, and listen. That's the biggest part. If your choice is to be I am, talk to your persona as if it is outside of you. If your choice is to embrace your humanity, talk to I am as if you are still your persona. There are other ways to communicate with your inner voice. Writing is one example. Okay. Yeah, day 10 is pretty short, so I will read that one separately, and then I will add the epilogue. And I'm going to also be bringing you something else that I've been debating reading to you guys. And I will bring that to you in this last video and see what you guys think about it. It's very different. It's maybe a bit controversial. There's no author. We'll just put it that way. I hope I intrigue you with that, but I'm currently reading it slowly. And I'm wondering if you'll be interested too. So I will be sharing that with you at the end of my last video when I read to you day 10. So we'll stop right there. Thank you all so very much for joining me as always. And until I see you again, take care of yourself, take care of those around you. I love you all so very much. And I will see you for the last section of our book. Take care until then. Bye-bye.